Hello, and welcome to beginner core class. We're going to do some yoga poses targeting our core and our lower back, which will help with any sort of back pain we may have, as well our yoga practice in general. So let's start standing with our legs a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. And we're just going to do a slight knee bend and just start to take some deep breaths in and just start to tighten your core and feel your abs. Good. And then lifting all the way up, so straightening the legs, and then bending again into that slight knee bend. We have our toes pointed to the outer edge of our mat. Another deep breath in on the rise, and exhale, and lower. Good. Bring your arms out to the side for a little side stretch or a bend. So we're just bringing our right arm all the way up and a slight bend, maybe carrying our hand over, listening to our body as we stretch to one side, then coming up to neutral and over onto the other side. Start to take some deep breaths in and out. Make sure you're tucking the tailbone in at the same time. Good. And coming up to stand. We're going to do the same thing with our legs straight, bending gently over to one side, over to the left. Slowly coming, so we're using our core as we come up, right? And then we're reaching over to the other side, pushing our hips forward, keeping our glutes, our legs. Good. And then coming up to center. Bring your hands on your waist. You could tiptoe your toes a little bit closer together, a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. And we're just going to go into our forward fold with a flat back. And then dropping your hands down to the mat or the floor or even blocks. And we're just going to let our head dangle, starting to stretch our hamstrings. Good. You can grab onto your feet if you want to. Pull yourself in this wide-legged forward fold, or even just bend your knees generously and pull yourself in. Good. Come up on your fingertips, flat back, and slowly rolling all the way up. Let's roll our shoulders. Good. Tilt our head to the left, to the right, closing our eyes. Taking a deep breath in. We're going to pivot the feet to the top of the mat. So one toe and then the other toe. And right now we're in our pyramid pose. We're going to reach up, so keeping our belly in nice and strong, and then floating all the way down, and then to blocks or your mat for another hamstring stretch. Just starting to warm up the body, warm up the core. Good. And then bring your body a little bit forward as you bring your toe back. And we're going to come up into our crescent lunge, our high lunge. So now we're using our core strength a little bit more as we come all the way up. We're tilting in the pelvis. We're bending the front knee. We're straightening the back leg. Our back heel is lifted. We're lifting up, looking up. Good. Open up to our warrior two. So we're going to have to shimmy that foot, bending the front knee. Drop the back hand, flip the front palm into your peaceful warrior. Leaning back, you can take your hand, wrap it around, stretch. Make sure keeping that front knee bent. Good, and then into our extended side angle. So elbow to knee, pushing it out, and then just bring your arm all the way up. So we are using our core big time, using this. Just take a minute. Feel the burn. And then coming back up, warrior two, flipping the palms, reach up, look up, take a deep breath. And then put your hands behind your head. We're going to bend the front knee again. We're going to lean over to one side. We're going to extend our arms. We're going to bring our hands back behind our head and then come up to center. I'm just going to do that 2 more times. Reaching over towards our knee, extending both arms up and in. And up. Last time. Bend, reach, in, and up. Straightening the front knee. We're going to switch sides. So let's go down for a little breather. Woo. Into our wide-legged forward fold again. Let's bend our knees one and then the other. These can be little micro movements, so it doesn't matter how deep you go. We're just starting to open up the hips now. Let the head be heavy. Nice. Come up onto your fingertips. Bring the toes, heels a little bit closer together. Transition into pyramid, so both toes are going towards the opposite side of your mat for a deep hamstring stretch. Maybe bringing your hands a little bit forward and then dropping your head. If you have blocks, it's good to have blocks. Good. Going into our crescent lunge or high lunge, placing that back foot a little bit further back onto the mat, and then lifting up using your core strength and lower body, lifting up, reaching your arms up, bending the front knee, keeping that back leg straight, tucking in the tailbone, look up, breathe, hold. Feel the power, your lower body of your core. Nice. Open up warrior two, bending the front knee. Make sure that knee is out and not rolling in. Good. Hold, hold, hold. Drop the back hand, flip the front palm, peaceful warrior stretch. Into our extended side angle, elbow to knee, bringing the right arm all the way up. Wardrobe malfunction. Looking straight, chin up just slightly. Breathe. Good. Come back up. Warrior two, flip both palms, reach up, look up. And lower down, exhale. Nice. And again, flip and up, reach up. Exhale down. One more. Flipping both palms, reach up, look up. Good. And then lower the arms down. Bend that front knee again. Bring your hands behind your head. You know what's coming. Core strength. Just going down as far as you can. Doesn't have to be a lot. Stretching your arms over your head. Bring them back behind your head. And then come back up. Whew. Gets me a little winded sometimes. Go ahead and bring yourself down. Reach, reach, reach. And in. And up. Core strong. Bend in towards your knee. Extend. Bring your hands behind your head. Come up to center. Good. And release. We're going to pivot our body again. So pivoting our toes to the top of the mat. Bringing our arms all the way up. Lower down slowly into our pyramid pose. Deep breath in and relax. Good. Bend the front knee. Bring the feet together at the top of the mat and bring the opposite foot back. One more stretch. So it's a little bit wider than your first pyramid pose. Good. Bring yourself together at the top of the mat. Bend the knees. Rise up. Reach up. Taking a deep breath in. Ooh, exhale. Hands to heart center. Just going to switch over here. We're going to make our way to our mat. Do a little bit of plank. Everyone's favorite. We'll go easy. Bending the knees. Rise to stand. Bring your hands to heart center. Flow it out, forward fold. Bend the knees. Step back into your high plank. We're holding here for 1, 2, 3. Push up. Downward facing dog. Take a breather here in your downward dog. Just pushing the heels into the mat, one and then the other. Maybe swaying your hips. 3 deep breaths. Good. Drop your knees. We're going to go into child's pose before we start strengthening that core. So me being a very tall girl, I always suffered from back pain. So if you do have any sort of lower back pain, I noticed that once I started strengthening my core and my lower abdomen and started doing more yoga, I realized I never had any more back issues. Good. So coming up to our tabletop position. And we're going to flip the toes and we're just going to hover the knees. So we're just starting to fire up the core. We're not going crazy. This is a beginner core. So feel free to drop the knees and take a breath and then again lift. So if you can hold your knees up this entire time and hover, go ahead. Make sure to squeeze your belly in, almost like somebody's giving you a little punch. You're tightening all those muscles. And lower down. Last time, lifting the knees off of the mat, squeezing in the belly. Good. And then lift your heels all the way up, downward facing dog. Walk out. Good. Maybe bring your feet a little bit closer together at the back of the mat. We're going to transition into our high plank. So we're rolling forward. High plank position, hold. Good. And then lifting our hips up, back into that downward dog. Rolling forward. High plank position. Squeeze the belly. Lifting up again. Good. Walk it out. Downward dog. 2 more times. Rolling forward. High plank. Good. Lift up. Squeeze. Yes. 1 more. Rolling forward. Breathe. Strong. Lift up. Squeeze. Good. Last one, we come forward. We drop the knees. We float our weight all the way down to the mat. Stretching our arms out. Taking a deep breath in. Nice. We're going to stretch out our upper body. We're going to take a little hair swing. We're going to take our right arm, extend it over, left arm, stretch it over towards the left side. We're going to pick up the opposite leg, so the right leg, and we're just going to reach back for a little side stretch. The other leg is straight on the mat. You could look up or straight. We're really opening up the chest here. You could also feel it all the way down your body, your core and your abdomen. Good. Switch sides. Sorry, my back is to you. So arm goes out. Other foot goes up, pointing the toe, rolling over to one side, lifting the opposite arm up into the air. Good. Lower down, back on your belly. We're going to come into our elbow plank. So keep your toes or your hands pointed towards the mat. Flip your toes under and lift your belly up into your elbow plank. And we're going to hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. Breathe. And again, lift up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. Breathe. Relax. And again, lift up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. And if you got it in, you do it one more time. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Drop your knees. Release your toes. Walk your hands back to a comfortable seated position at the back of the mat. Good. Bring your arms all the way up. Reach up. Hands to heart center. Bring your arms out in cactus, opening up the chest further. Good. Bringing your arms in, curving the spine slightly, rolling the shoulders as well. Reach up, look up. Good. And as you're coming up, you're tightening your core as well. If you just focus on your ab muscles, rolling it down, reaching up. One more time. Bringing your hands together. Reaching up. Good. Reaching all the way up. Back into your child's pose. You can do a wide legged child's pose if it's feeling good. Open up your hips a little bit more. Drop your head onto the mat. And rolling up. Swing your legs around. We are going to make our way down to the mat. So using, again, our abs, rolling all the way down, slowly, slowly, slowly. Then picking up your feet into waterfall, rolling your shoulders back. Go ahead and flex and point your feet. Good. We're going to lower the right leg and then the left. We're going to hover the left foot just a couple inches off the mat and then lift it up. We're only going to do this 4 times. Lower, lower, and lift. 2 more times. Lower the right foot all the way down, hover at the bottom, and then bring it up. Really feel this in the lower abdomen. Lower, lower, and lift. Bend your knees. Give yourself a little squeeze. That was such a good little core workout. So let's just bring our knees into our chest and do a little rock from side to side. Core can be, and strengthening the abs can be, one of the things that, are triggering. You're like, oh, this is really, really hard. But I can assure you that just go to a level where you're like, okay, I can't go any further, and release and just stop the pose where you're at. And I can assure you, if you just do a little bit more each and every day, it is amazing how quickly you start to gain core strength. And you'll start to see this in an improvement with your mobility. You'll start to see in your overall strength in your yoga practice, and especially if you have any back pain. Let's bring our arms over our head, feet down and relaxed, and give ourselves a full body stretch and a full body squeeze. And a deep breath in. And we can't forget about a twist. So bring our arms out to either side. Bring your knees together and drop both knees over to the right side for a twist. Might have to shimmy your hips a little bit more on the mat, depending on your body type. Maybe close your eyes, taking a deep breath in and out. Start to slow down your breathing, and then bring both knees up to center and letting them both fall over to the left. So these types of stretches also help the muscles strengthen. And they also help with, any soreness you might have the next day after doing any sort of physical activity. So important to stretch and strengthen while working on your flexibility. Oh, I feel like I could lie here all day. Bring your knees together, give yourself one more squeeze, and roll yourself up any way you feel you can. And we are going to close our practice. So sitting up nice and tall, really feeling our stomach ground, our stomach nice and tight. Go ahead, feel our stomach if we can, and then sit in a comfortable seated position with our root chakra all in alignment now. Placing your hands just on your knees, giving yourself beautiful gratitude for this beautiful day, giving gratitude and thanks for your healthy body, for your healthy mind, and taking this beautiful energy that you have received from this beautiful practice that is yoga, and sharing this loving energy to all those that you love. Thanks so much for joining me today. Namaste.